I'm Bob Coleman. Welcome to Fraud Friday. Today we're talking about a loan broker head of a familiar ring that ripped off a lender in a hotel flipping scheme. Very briefly, why flipping is bad for the lender. In this particular case, they bought it at a reduced amount, then they immediately faked a new business transaction at a higher value, never made the payments, and pocketed, in this case, about $1 million in the transaction, leaving lender holding collateral that was insufficient to cover the loan amount. Jennifer Watkins pled guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud for her role in the scheme that defrauded multiple SBA lenders by manipulating hotel property sales, falsifying equity injections, and hiding insider ownership. Again, this is eligibility issues. They hide ownership because the person may have a criminal record. They may not be a U.S. citizen. They have a bankruptcy, terrible credit. So they bring in the straw buyers to mask who the recipients of the loan proceeds. There were, in these situations, always they have multiple groups. They have they call a consulting group a Delaware hotel group, Forza Consulting. The co-conspirators were Mike Katawala and Raj Patel. How the scheme worked: they created shell companies using straw owners. Again, one of the concepts that we have in fraud is you have all of these multiple companies that disguise what is really going on and makes it difficult for the lender to follow the cash. They then created new buyer entities, also under their control, to flip the hotels at inflated prices. They submitted false documents, i.e. false tax returns, misrepresented equity injection. Look, and this is the key in SBA lending. SBA continually tells lenders, verify that there's true skin in the game. We want to know where the cash is coming from. In these frauds, there is no equity injection. They do the transaction, and the fraudsters walk away with a big check from the lender, never make a payment. Watkins and her co-conspirators recruited other members, paid them off. But once the loans closed, then they transfer the ownership to other members, silently diluting the people whose names are on the documents, and say, "Hey, we're going to just give you a taste, and we're going to walk away with the bulk of the cash." Here's one specific example. They altered a settlement statement. They had, on part of the scheme, they had an escrow officer to show the hotel purchase price was $4.2 million. It actually was only $3 million. 3.02 million, misleading an investor about the profit spread. In March 17th, there was an email to Poppy Bank. Now, Poppy Bank is a major SBA lender, and they said, "Hey, Raj Patel's 100% owner," but someone at the bank said, "Well, wait a minute. We want to know, are these the same people? We have a Mahu Katawala, and then we have the broker, Mike Katawala, who's were they the same person?" The bank picked up on this, but Watkins and their team then concealed that the seller, buyer, and broker were all insiders, and failed to disclose that the investors included family members, including spouses, siblings, children of Katawala and Patel. False broker role and financial interest concealment. The conspirators claimed to be third-party brokers negotiating loan terms. In truth, they had substantial financial interest. So look, a legitimate loan broker will represent the borrower and say, "Hey, I have the expertise to put together a package for you, and then I can go ahead and work with the lender to put this for you." In this case, they they misrepresented that they had an ownership. The brokers had actually were the borrowers. They had an ownership. This misrepresentation directly defrauded SBA lenders who were underwriting transactions based on the false information. The Department of Justice attorney Eric Barron said Watkins and her co-conspirators orchestrated an elaborate scheme to defraud SBA lenders by hiding their financial interest in submitting false information to obtain federally backed loans. These actions not only defrauded banks, but also threatened the integrity of a vital government program designed to support small business owners. Another case where the lender was on the right track, but they got taken in by the plethora of false documentation and these fraudsters are very, very sophisticated. Ms. Watkins has pled guilty. Her sentencing is yet to be determined. Thank you for joining me for Fraud Friday. I'm Bob Coleman.